FYI, the light, I'm filming later in the day, so the lighting, I don't know, there might be a lot of shadows. We're just gonna go with it. If you're clicking on this video right now, my guess is that you're aware on some level that you're not fully showing up in the world as who you really are. And what does that even mean? Who I really am. Who you really are, or your authentic self, is the truest expression of you. It's your innate personality, strengths, desires, passions, and talents, quirks, opinions, and so on. When you're not living from the truest expression of who you are, that's when you start to feel kind of itchy. You start to feel stuck. You start to feel a little suffocated. Your true self is scratching on the inside. It's like, hey, dude, we're in here. We have a lot to offer the world, a lot of potential. You want to let me out? Or so how do you discover or unleash? I feel like that's kind of a corny word, but we'll go with it. How do you unleash your true self? Guys, there is only one first step. That is, you must, I cannot stress this enough. You must get rid of the limiting thoughts and fears that are suppressing your authenticity. These thoughts sound like, and are not limited to, I'm not good enough, I'm scared, I'm afraid of what people are gonna think, I don't know how to act, I'm afraid I'm gonna look like an idiot. I want you to imagine that like all these limiting thoughts are sitting on top of your authentic self, suffocating it. And that's why it's so critical that you dismantle and shed these limiting beliefs. This is what I call purging. And what I see so many well-intentioned people do is they go out and they try to add these like positive mantras and affirmations into their brain, or listen to inspirational podcasts or motivational books, whatever it is. But guys, that's just adding more into your mind, body, and soul. It's not going to create and initiate the change that you really want if you haven't ripped up the old foundation, aka your limiting beliefs first. It's like, imagine trying to plant flowers on a bed of old weeds, right? Like, they're not gonna grow. You've gotta rip up that foundation, rip up the weeds first, and then plant the flowers, and voila. And the second step, once you've successfully purged those old limiting beliefs and pulled up those old roots, then you have the space and the capacity to really get to know your true self. This is where your true self can easily come out to play. It has the room to do so because your security guards, aka the limiting beliefs, have been fired. This is the phase where you get to safely explore who you really are, what your desires are, what you're made of, and what makes you uniquely you. And then lastly, number 3 is where you put your true self into action. So you take everything you've learned about you and you start showing up as that person out in the world, the real, authentic you. For example, I used to be a huge rule follower. So I would make a lot of decisions from I should do that, I have to do that. And it created a lot of results in my life that I, the real me, didn't like. So I literally, 1, had to get rid of those limiting beliefs, 2, figure out who I really was and what I really wanted, and then 3, start making decisions and start showing up as that version of myself. So the old me might have said, you should really get a full-time job right now. But at that point in my life, the real me, the true me, I really wanted a part-time job. So I went out and got a part-time job. And then I just kept making one decision after the other from that authentic part of myself, from what I really wanted. And then voila, I'm living a lifestyle of doing whatever the F I want, whenever the F I want, and it's fabulous. I went from being a rule follower to like this free spirit who marches to the beat of her own drum. So you've got to figure out, what identity am I hanging on to that's keeping me, that's stopping me from living my truth? Is it a rule follower, a people pleaser, the person who's always overwhelmed, the person who always struggles to make decisions, whoever it is? That's the identity that you've got to purge to unleash your authentic self. Now, if you want to take this to the next level, you're ready, you're like, yes, Shaina, you are speaking my language, then I invite you to apply to my program, Live Your Purpose in 90 Days. I will go ahead and put the application underneath this video. The very first thing that we do together is we identify the identity that's keeping you stuck and we purge it for good so that we can find your true direction, your authenticity, and we start taking inspired action to create a lifestyle to match that. Thank you guys for watching. I will see you next week.